Welcome to Culturally Incorrect, the podcast where two friends dive into the ordinary, turning the mundane into a humorous adventure.
Join us for laughter, candid conversations, and a dose of friendship as we explore the everyday topics that make life truly basic.
We're your hosts, Ken.
And Z,
We're here to turn your everyday into a fun filled conversation.
so grab the drink of your choice, put on your headphones, and let's chat.
In this episode, we found out that people are our passion. Z debates selling feet pics, and Ken learns how to use a bank. What's going on, Z?
What
We
up,
are
though?
alive, and we are back for another episode of Culturally Incorrect. Name still under debate. But we're going to sit here and we're going to talk a little bit about life in general. I'll tell you the truth, man. What's going on with you?
Not much, just kicking it. But I do want to ask you one thing.
What's that?
What's the most ordinary thing that brings you joy?
Yep, the most ordinary thing that brings me joy. So I would say food, but I would say watching people smile. People
Hmm.
smiling and people just having fun gives me like this the amazing energy. Just it is so nice to see people enjoying themselves and not thinking about whatever they got going on, whatever they worried about. So that's probably the simplest thing that
Yeah,
people don't realize that it brings other people joy. So that's
that
what
is
kind of brings me
awesome.
joy.
Look at you.
I
What you?
know.
What?
I'm telling
Wait a time out. Pause. That ain't the answer I expected from this man.
you. What was
That
this
is
the answer
that
you
is a
expected from
very
me?
that is I don't know, but it wasn't that. But I am so glad that you said that. That's awesome. In order that is awesome. That is because I mean it's same as charity, right? Like you give because it's good for somebody else and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But that's really cool.
Yep, that's me, man. Yeah, just trying to like seeing other people smile, seeing other people have a good time, man. What other joy is there like to enjoy it, especially if you guys doing it as a group,
Yeah,
and it's just a good time. How about
because
yourself?
that was gonna be mine, right? Like the whole family get
Ah,
together, game night kind of thing. Like those are my
yeah.
those are my favorite times. Like people like, oh, I don't know. We did this exercise at the place I volunteer at. It's like you draw a circle, you have these arrows that point in and out.
Mm-hmm.
The arrows that point in are the things that fuel you and give you joy and basically fill up your battery.
Yeah.
And the things that point out are the things that drain you of all your energy, of all your happiness and all that good stuff. And like the majority of my circle was filled with either family, friends, or activities
Yeah.
that like you said, it brings people together and you have a good time,
Oh yeah.
whether that be going out, whether that be staying in, whatever. But yeah, that it's along those same
Yeah,
lines.
game night's always a good time. Like I mean, even if it's a bad game night, it's still a good time because
Fantastic.
yeah, because almost every game night I'm winning. So I mean, that always makes it an amazing thing. Like sometimes
Well, he better be on my team if
I'm
he
just
think
saying,
he winning.
yeah,
Cause listen, that's the only way. That's the only way.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
Sometimes
But yeah,
teammates bring you down, but yeah, I try not to be that teammate.
Lord knows.
Yeah.
Lord knows.
All right. So I got one for you.
All right.
When was the time in your life, right, that you realize your class status? Like, yo, I'm middle class. We ain't got it. Like, what time? At what point in your life did you realize that? Like, oh, okay, I'm seeing where we at.
And you about to expose me. So here's the thing, right?
Uh oh.
And it's not bad. It's
This
not
is
terrible. I'm sure a lot of, well, I'm not sure, but a lot of people may have gone through this too, right? So when I was young, I would say probably in middle school, like sixth grade or maybe fifth or sixth grade.
mhm,
And I used to ride the cheese bus, is what we call it, the yellow bus. We call it the cheese.
cheese bus.
And I rode it, and we went to the Northeast. So I lived in North Philly, but my school was in the Northeast, and so we would drive along from North Philly to the Northeast at various schools to pick up students. Um, and I'll never forget is this girl named Jennifer. I still remember her name from fifth and sixth grade, and she would always just be decked out. I'm talking about designer this, designer that. And we went fifth, sixth grade. Like,
Yeah.
why she need a Gucci belt? I don't know, but she had it. Why she always had on Ralph Lauren? I don't know, but she did. And me, I had my aunt's hand me down. So my grandma and my aunt shop for really nice clothes, so they last forever, and that was not a good thing for me because I was not the same size as my aunt, but I still
Oh
wore her
wow.
clothes, and so I
Yeah.
would like have jeans that quadrupled over. And this is not to embarrass anybody, right? Like it is what it
Yeah,
is.
that's part of life
And
back then.
so that's when I realized that I was like, oh, we don't have that much money because like shopping at Save a Lot or shopping at no, we didn't have Aldi at the time, so shopping at Save a Lot and stuff like that wasn't really a thing because everybody shopped at Save a Lot in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody had the same, kicks or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we poor. But when I started going to this school,
Yeah.
she
So,
was dressed all the time, and I was like, dang, I could afford that belt if I tried.
yeah.
Hmm.
So my parents were really good about not letting us realize we were poor.
Uh-huh.
Like I had no clue what monetary things were, right? Because and this is going to be the crazy part because we really didn't have a TV like that, and the TV that we did have we couldn't watch, so we spent most of our time outside in
Oh,
the neighborhood. So I didn't know, like I wouldn't have known what Gucci was, what Louis was, what any of that like designer stuff was, right?
yeah.
So this is going to shock you. I did not realize that I was poor until I went to the military and I started to like really see like what was out in the world, like
Yeah.
for real. Like I'm like, hey yo, man, I grew up poor, like
But
really
did it
poor.
but did it feel like you had lost anything? Like or that you were I don't know
I
what
was
I'm
mad. What are you talking about? I was mad. I was like, what the hell is going on out here in these streets that my mom had me look. Z, we used to go to the Salvation Army, and that to me was like a trip. Like that
hmm
was fun when we were little because we
Yeah.
would run through the aisles and stuff and play on
Hmm.
try on clothes and stuff and do all that stuff, right? The Jordache sneakers. I know you know about Jordache sneakers. I used to rock Jordache all the time. And you got one pair in the beginning of the year, you got one pair for Christmas, and those were the sneakers that you wore all year long. And those turned into your summer sneakers, and then it repeated this devilish cycle. And
Two, two sneakers, two shoes.
that was the devil's cycle that repeated itself. So like until I got out into the world, I was like, oh man, we good. There's nothing wrong. Like I don't know what's wrong with us. Like this, that we just normal people and stuff. Like and I grew up in Trenton, so like it ain't that glamorous of a place anyway, right?
Hmm.
Like so I didn't realize that it was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like I was just kind of like so yeah. So it was well into my adulthood like that. I was like, oh man, you know what? Yo, I ain't having nothing. Like nothing.
But that's funny because I'm like even though I realized that okay, yeah, I don't have money for like clothes and stuff, I still never felt like I wanted for
Oh
anything
yeah.
in terms of like, having people around and then like uh, you know, like you said, we played outside a lot. I didn't have like a Nintendo Wii or Switch or any of these things that were like, oh, gadgets that you like, oh, I need to have that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was outside,
Yeah, it was.
double dutch, flag football. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it wasn't.
it was a simple life.
I don't know. There weren't many tangible things that I
Yeah,
needed. That I felt like you can't have that.
yeah.
Like I wasn't into dolls or anything like that. Like there was nothing that I was like, man, if I could just have that one thing, and then realize like, man, we broke. Like that wasn't the case, right? So I'm glad, but I don't feel like I missed anything. I mean, granted, that's because I don't know any better, right?
Right.
Like if we had millions of dollars and I did have everything, I don't know if I would still feel the same way if I had to reverse the
You reverse it. Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Like I can't go back. Like I can.
Yeah,
Like at this point in my life,
okay.
I can't go back. You got to. We got to figure out something because I can't go back. Like I don't. I'll be like the rest of these people out here selling feet on the internet, like feet pics or something. I don't know. I will have me an OnlyFans and
Selling your dirty socks.
selling whatever I got to, boy, and it don't matter. Like I'm open to all creeds,
Any and
colors,
all.
races. And I'll be a non-binary feet selling somebody. I tell you what, because we not making that trip back. We doing our best.
Forget what show it was. It was either like SVU or Chicago PD, one of those shows. And the girl had like this legit um panty selling business.
Oh,
She
see,
was selling them to inmates, and I was like, huh? She's just selling their panties to inmates. I said, first of all, where they getting the money from? But third of all, why are they paying for?
right? People are weird, and men are even weirder. Like, and then the whole thing about it, I guarantee you, she wasn't even wearing them. She was just putting some like olive oil on them, or something like that, and sending them in, sprayed them with a little perfume,
She's oh my
and then
god.
sending them off because she wasn't doing that. She wasn't.
I I can't even imagine somebody being like, let me pay for these socks. No, you gotta wear them first. I'm sorry, what?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm not kink shaming. That's your
Hey
business.
man,
That's your business. That's your business. Somebody making mad money off you, so
exactly.
keep on paying them.
You just gotta what's the name? You just gotta.
I be telling Cole that all the time. Listen, we need some extra income. You mind if I go ahead and sell these feet pics real
that's
quick? Let me get my toes done real quick.
that's terrible.
I've never done it, but they say it's
Look
lucrative
here.
if you got the right
I
audience.
think it's lucrative at first because people get bored quick. So you either
That's
gotta
what I.
change it up or you just your return on investment is gonna just sink.
But these men, they got to be careful because AI is a thing, and you could get some fake feet, sell them. They generating photos now,
This is true. This is true.
and so you can recreate. You know what I mean? You can have 6 accounts.
This is true. I like that idea. I'm gonna AI me some stuff, man. I'm gonna see what AI can develop for me,
Let me
and
see.
then I can then when somebody come at me, I'll be like, hey, look, man, that's some AI feed. That ain't even my stuff right there.
That ain't even me.
Like, so I was just out here just posting stuff. They dumb enough to buy it. I like that idea. I'm gonna steal that just so you know. Just so you
That ain't
know.
even me.
Yeah. All right.
Oh goodness.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go again.
Okay.
Give me something as a kid that you wholeheartedly believed was the way things were or was true. What was?
That you wholeheartedly
Yeah.
believed.
You just knew that was the way of the world. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be young adulthood. It can be like as you was a kid, like like that you were just like, yo, yeah, that's just the way it is, right? And then then at some point you realize, yeah, yo, that ain't even true.
I have one.
What you got?
Is that you have to work, that you have to go to school, get good grades, finish college, go get a good job, and then work for 60 years out of your life. Like, I didn't realize that there are so many young millionaires who didn't follow that course whatsoever. And the reason they did it is because they got put on game early. And I feel like I was one of the ones that got stuck. Like, dang, I didn't realize you could even veer off that path. Like, I thought that was like a mandate, right? Like, so all my life I've gotten A's and B's. Like, if I got a C, I was
Oh
petrified.
man, C's make
Um,
degrees, man.
so, not in my house. Okay, you listen. You dip below B plus, and it's like, what is this? What did you grow stupid overnight? That's not to clown anybody because if you try, you try,
Yeah,
right? That was my mom's motto. If you try, you try.
but you better not bring no C here.
But if I
C ain't
her
trying.
thing was if I know you could do better, then you're not gonna get away with just not
Well,
doing
how
it.
she know you
Uh,
can do better though? Like she like,
because if all your life you've been doing it this way, now all of a sudden, oh, you don't have no homework. Oh, you didn't you
mm,
did you did you didn't show me this test score.
I got you.
Oh, why wasn't I invited to the conference for this? Like why didn't I get so yeah, you wouldn't get nothing over on her. But anyway, so I say all that to say like for school it was like, oh, that's expected.
Yeah,
So you get into college, that's expected. After you get out of college, you get a good job, that's expected. And so it's like you gotta just work stupid hard. And I was like, wait a minute. Start looking around. Wait a minute. Some of these folks did not go to college and they're making way more than me. And they will be making way more than me because they either thought outside the box or created,
yeah.
a product or a service that people really needed. But that's one thing that I feel like I got
But I feel like it.
I was never encouraged to do anything other than that.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a difference of environment and a difference of time, right? So a lot of times those people come from a comfortable situation where they have the opportunity to think outside the box. Like my daughter, she has the opportunity to think outside the box. She can go a different path and say, hey, I'm going to try and make money this way, or I'm going to go to school for this, or I'm going to just not go to school and do this. They have that opportunity. Whereas, like for me growing up, man, nah, like the only way you were going to make it out was to get a decent job and grind away. And if you got lucky and you came up with something, then that was different. But you were so pressured to do your day to day and survive and maintain yourself because your parents is like, hey, yo, at some point, you got to leave. And nowadays, the empty nesting is not a thing, right? They keep coming back, and they keep being like, oh yeah, I want to, I'm just gonna come home, and I'm gonna sit here for a little bit, and then I'll leave. So I think in our generation, we didn't have the opportunity to to have that free will.
No, see, that brings me to this foolishness of the housing market right now.
Oh man,
Why? I mean, I don't think they can get out. Like at first, like I think like 4 or 5 years ago when they were talking about 30-year-olds living at home, I was like, dang man, they tripping. Like you gotta branch out on your own eventually. But now I'm like, listen, $3,000 for rent, that's not cool. That's we
oh
don't live
yeah,
in New York. We don't live in Japan. Why are we paying these prices to live in a freaking studio apartment? This is crazy. So I I I, I fully understand nowadays why they have to come back.
yeah,
But then it's like you start getting older and you got to take care of parents or grandparents or whatever, and the responsibility just kind of just pounds
oh
like
yeah,
compounds itself, and you're like,
yeah,
well then, I guess I won't be leaving that cushy job. But like you said, it's out of necessity, right? Because if you had the opportunity and you didn't have to take care of other bills or things like that, you could venture out with their money and say, oh, I'm gonna do something different,
yeah.
But you don't want to risk it if you got mouths to feed.
That's true. All right,
Yeah,
so
that's the
yeah,
real.
so mine's gonna make me sound like an at-risk kid. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like most of this stuff's gonna make me sound at risk. Until I was probably 17, I did not realize that banks cash their own checks.
You didn't realize that banks
Right.
don't check.
I thought when you got a check, because when I was 14, I got a job with the city, right? And I got
Mm-hmm.
paper checks to go, and that's how they paid us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only place I knew who that cashed checks was the liquor store.
All the checking.
The liquor store. Well, mine was the liquor store. So we go to the liquor store, and they like take 10 cents off the dollar for cashing your check. But I didn't understand that that's not how it worked. I thought you got paid with a check. You went to the
Go
liquor
to this
store.
place.
You
Mm-hmm.
cashed your check. They took they cut of your check, and I kept it moving. So like I'm 15, 16 years old, and I'm getting a paycheck, and
Oh,
10% of it is going to the liquor store because they cashed my check for me, and that's all I knew. And then one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, yo, let's go. We got our paychecks, and he had a car. He's like, yo, let's go cash our checks." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, man. 'Cause I can grab some snacks and stuff while I'm in there." And he
you like
drives up to
smack.
he drives up to the Core State Bank, right? I don't even Core State is a thing anymore, but up north Core State was a thing, right? He drives up to the Core State Bank, and I'm like, "What the hell are we doing?" And he like, "Yo, we about to cash our checks. Just write your name on it, give him my ID." And see the look on my face when I was like, wait. Well, how much they taking out? Like, I
They
mean,
gonna give you
I
all
know,
that.
yeah, I know the liquor store take out money. Like, how much they taking out? Because I know what my set price is. He like, what are you talking about? He's like, they just cash your check and give you the money. And I'm like, they don't take nothing off the top. I'm like, oh my god, changed my world. When I tell you it
Oh,
changed my world, Z, I was
your
like,
friend was like snacks.
yeah,
You get snacks at the bank.
yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can go just to the
Wow,
bank
that's
and I
uh
didn't know no better.
oh breaks my
I
heart.
didn't know no
Oh,
better. Like, so what do you
it
do?
breaks my heart because how many more people are just like that to this day? To this day.
You don't,
To this
yeah, you
day.
don't know any better because
Oh,
that's where my if I went to go cash a check, that's where my dad went. If I went to
yeah.
go cash a check with my mom, that's where my mom went. So
Yeah.
that was the only place that I knew that you went to exchange money, like
Ah,
to actually get money. So yeah, so that was like that was a little at risk, but that was something that completely in my mind check you
man.
cash checks at the liquor store, and so
Yes.
that's just what it was.
Wow. I don't think I've ever gone to cash my check at a check cashing place or a liquor store or anything like that.
Hmm.
Dang. That's wild. That is wild.
True story.
I really like hurt over that. Oh, so many people just giving their money back, just giving their money away after they already
Yeah,
then got
you give
ganked from tax.
yeah, you give a slice away to somebody because you don't know no better, and it's not like they don't have banks on every other corner, and you just have to make sure that it's the bank that the city's banking with or whoever give cashing you your check is they check and it's down at the bottom. But I didn't know no better. Thank you for joining us. Please come back next time when we discuss relationships and more.